for the ice to melt so you can go swimming? Think again, especially if you live in Canada. Canada has more cryptids than Transylvania. Here are a few that lurk just beneath the waves. Kraken / giant squid. The Kraken was long considered a mythical creature, a giant octopus which used its tentacles to seize sailors from the decks of ships. Sometimes it would even wrap several of its several arms around the mainmast and haul the ship down to Davy Jones's locker. Imagine the shock when it was learned that the Kraken was real, that it was the giant squid. During the mid-1800s, the remains of giant squids began washing up on the rocky beaches of Newfoundland, and on October the 26th, 1873, Theophile Picot, his 10-year-old son, and another man, Daniel Squires, had a close encounter in Portugal Cove, Conception Bay. The fishermen found a squid floating on the water, but when they struck it with a hook, it attacked their boat with a pair of tentacles, attempting to drag it underwater. Picot's son cut off both arms with an axe. That's the arms of the squid, not his arms. Who wrote this crap anyways? Oh yeah, I did. Rise above. Picot's son cut off both arms with an axe, causing the squid to back off, fouling the water with jets of black ink. One arm was used for dog food, but the other was turned over to science. With a length of 19 feet, it indicated the squid was a monster around 40 feet long. On September the 22nd, 1877, another squid, measuring over 40 feet in length, was to wash up at Catalina, Trinity Bay, Newfoundland. What follows is a bad poem about the Kraken / giant squid by the bad poet Warren S. James. Off Newfoundland's quite rocky coast, there dwells an underwater ghost, and if you saw it, you'd be shaken at this thing they call the Kraken. But the Kraken is a real beast, a great big mollusk from down east. I wouldn't kid you, honest kid. The Kraken is the giant squid. Warren here. At the time I wrote this poem, I thought the name of the cryptid was pronounced Kraken. It wasn't until Seattle got its National Hockey League team, the Seattle Kraken, that I realized I had mispronounced the name. So I guess I'm going to have to rewrite this poem someday. But for right now, how about, now don't you try to pet the Kraken, or on you, it will be snacking. Goo goo. Yeah, you heard that right. Goo goo. G-O-U, G-O-U. The goo goo is one of two monsters reported by the famous early Canadian Samuel de Champlain, the other being Champ, the lake monster of Lake Champlain. A giant, hideous, and cannibalistic woman, Goo Goo haunts the waters of New Brunswick's Chaleur Bay. It attacks ships by wading up to them. Goo Goo towers as high as the mainmast by wading up to them and plucking unwary sailors off the decks. Those seamen not immediately consumed are put in her pockets to snack on later. The pockets were said to be so large the Goo Goo could place an entire sailing ship inside one of them. What follows is a bad poem about the Goo Goo. The waters of the Baie Chaleur are known for their strange allure. It is the home of the Goo Goo, a giantess who will eat you. She is too ugly, is too tall. In fact, she is a cannibal. She has an awful appetite. So don't you be her snack tonight. The Lake Utopia Monster. Lake Utopia in southern New Brunswick is a home of a voracious monster which has been described as both a serpent and a fish. Reported to be 100 feet long, it lives at the bottom of this small lake, but is usually observed when basking at full length upon the surface of the water. Witnesses sometimes describe it as looking like a huge floating log. On other occasions, the monster makes itself known by churning up the lake bed, causing all sorts of flotsam and jetsam to surface in a boiling, bubbling geyser. A witness who saw the monster in July 1982 said it looked like a submarine coming out of the water with spray on both sides. It was about 10 feet long and put me in mind of the back of a whale. A frightening close encounter took place in the late 1800s when two men in a canoe were chased by the monster, which attempted to bite them with a mouth full of sharp, wicked-looking teeth. The monster is sometimes referred to as Old Ned. What follows is a bad poem about the Lake Utopia monster. Here we find a Fortean critter who will eat you like a fritter. It lives down below the water, but will surface for your slaughter. You know it has a taste for blood. You wish it would stay in the mud. For there really is no hopia for those trapped out on Lake Utopia. The Thetis Lake Monster. The Thetis Lake Monster is Canada's very own creature from the Black Lagoon. In fact, they could be twins. Thetis Lake is found just outside of Victoria, British Columbia. They took a trip to Thetis Lake. Turned out to be a big mistake. Yes, they were planning on a swim, but ended up not going in. They saw a humanoid with gills, a scaly skin and other frills. What was the worst thing that they saw? The creature waving its right claw. Bye-bye. But what about the remains of strange sea creatures which sometimes wash up on the beach? Those aquatic corpses known as globsters. On the beach there is a globster, partly snake and partly lobster. We don't know just what to think. We're only sure it's gonna stink. No, it ain't gonna smell like roses as it slowly decomposes. We don't know just what we've got. We only know it's gonna rot. Well, this seems like a good place to stop. The moral of the story? Good poetry is hard to write, but anyone can write a poem that stinks. If this is your first visit to my channel, please consider subscribing. My name is Warren, and I write and tell original ghost stories and original horror stories featuring such cryptids as the Night Floaters, werewolves, and the Black-Eyed Children. So again, please consider subscribing. Please help me to reach my goal of 2,022 subs in 2022. And I'm so close now. So close. So why not just subscribe? Don't wait for a rainy day.